Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Relinquishing Control. My name is Isabella, and I am the host of this podcast. And today I have a very special guest with me here today, my dear friend Nurit.
Totally not a YouTube video, by the way.
We have a full audience here, actually.
Yeah.
So today I'm super excited because we're going to talk about the topic of spirituality, something that is very valuable to both of us in our lives. I guess we can just start off and kind of talk about what it means to us and why it's important to us. Do you want to go first?
No.
Okay.
No, but I'll go first.
Okay.
I just, okay. I don't even know, I don't want to call myself, a spiritual person. Oh, sorry. Sorry if you couldn't hear me. Because I feel like I don't know enough about, spirituality to, say that I am. You know what I mean? I feel like it, encompasses, so many different things, and I just don't, have a full grasp on it. I mean, I do, believe in, the general ideas that come, with spirituality, more so than, I don't know, being religious. I'm not a religious person myself, but, spirituality, brings me, that type of comfort. You know what I mean?
Yeah, well, I definitely would agree with that. I think it's a very complex
Yeah.
topic, but I don't necessarily think it's about having to know enough. You're just being humble, you know?
True.
Because it's more so just something that you believe in.
Yeah.
And well, this is my outlook on it. But for me, it's like something that you believe in, something just how you view the world.
Yeah.
And for me, that's kind of looking at the world from a lens of everything that occurs in my life has a purpose.
Yeah.
And I've seen so many TikToks and they always emphasize it's not something you believe in, it's something you're in tune with. And it's truly just also because I'm someone who's very in touch with nature, that brings me so much inner calm and peace. I think it's just finding those external natural things in your environment, the most simplest things that bring you calm and peace, and also just now I'm going on a ramble.
Keep going.
Finding those things that are not material, I guess, that bring you that peace. And additionally, just trusting that your life's timing is the timing that's meant for you, even if something happens and you're like, why the hell did this happen?
Yeah.
I'm pissed off at the universe, I'm pissed off at God, why the hell is this happening to me right now? But when you look back on it in months or a year from now, you realize I was meant to go through that experience.
Yeah.
Because I think I am just a very intentional person, so every experience I go through, I try to get something out of it. And I think looking back, even when I was not in a healthy headspace and going through an experience, I would always look back and realize, well, I was still meant to go through that. At least in my opinion, I got a lot out of that, even if it wasn't my happiest moment or the happiest time of my life, I still grew a lot from that experience. And so I think what spirituality really means to me, to sum it up, is just getting something out of your experiences, and just believing that you go through certain things for a reason and that things happen for a reason.
Yeah.
And trusting that the events of your life are going to line up how they're meant to align, and that you're going to have the life that it's believing and trusting something big greater than yourself, that it's going, yeah, in the universe. So that it's gonna, the universe has a plan for you of how your life is gonna go. And I think there's just been too many things that I've experienced that I'm like, this cannot happen by coincidence. So that's kind of why I have that belief. But
yeah, I definitely agree with that. Everything that happens to us is it's what was meant to happen.
Yeah.
And just having trust that what's meant for you will come.
Yeah, 100%.
And if you have to let go of things, then so be it.
Yeah. It's much easier said than done. But
yeah.
Yeah. It's very freeing once you're able to, though, let go of something, for sure.
Yeah.
I think that I was meant to cross paths with this person because we did genuinely have this instant sense of, I feel like we've known each other or met in a past life. We genuinely had that connection. And it helped me learn a lot and grow a lot because I realized just because we have such this strong connection and we both feel like it's on this spiritual wavelength, our connection does not mean that it's something that's meant to be permanent, because it was not healthy for either of us. And another thing that I would add is on my second date with this guy, we go and sit by the water. The sun's setting, like everything was great. And I remember I started opening up to him about something very personal to me, and he put his arm around me to comfort me. Pretty typical, right? But then I woke up in the middle of the night after our date and half asleep, like I don't know what triggered me to pull up this song, but I pull up the song Mine by Taylor Swift, and I go to the part where it says, "Do you remember we were sitting
Do
there
you
by the
remember we were sitting there by the water? You put your arm around me for the first time."
And I started bawling my eyes out because I was like, this resonates with the exact experience I just had. And I wasn't like searching through, like, I'm gonna find a song lyrics about him putting his arm around me.
Yeah.
I was half asleep just on my phone. Genuinely, like, I think I did this part in my sleep. And then I'm like awake. Like,
Stop.
I'm so serious. When I was pulling up the song, because I pulled it up and I was like confused, like why is this song up right now? Like, I genuinely was half asleep. And then I click on the lyrics and I was like, oh my gosh. And I sent it to him. I was like the lyrics to my one of my like favorite childhood songs actually just came true. And that's when I was like, okay, this was only one of the songs that had lyrics that very much resonated with the whole dynamic of our relationship. Like, obviously that was a specific occurrence. There was a song, Reflections by the Neighborhood.
Love the neighborhood.
Yes, that was a very good song. My roommate showed it to me, and as I was playing it with her, she glances over at me and she's like, wait, this reminds me of you and He Who Shall Not Be Named. She had never met this guy, and she was like, this reminds me of you guys. And I was like, that is crazy that my roommate, who's only heard me describe this connection with this guy, also sees the same thing just from a song. So that was the second
Yeah,
time I was like, this the music is speaking to me.
it is.
A lot of the songs in our playlist together were about kind of having a connection that's so strong, having this super strong pull to each other, that it's just not a healthy connection because of that. That also cannot just be by chance. And I really think it is. You have to obviously believe in it and be in tune with it to be able to see the numbers and actually connect with them, because if you think about it in the mindset of this is silly, this is dumb, this is delusional, which, first of all, maybe it is a little bit delusional, but if it is delusional, it's only benefiting you to believe in something that is giving you this positive motivation and positive energy. So it doesn't really matter if it's, to me, the way I view it is, it doesn't really matter if it's scientifically realistic or rational, because it's either way, it's improving my life and it's adding positivity to my life. So that's kind of how I view it.
I know you would text me and be like, is this a sign? And
No,
like,
because
I
I feel like,
100%
guys, the
agree.
reason I brought Nurit on this podcast is because I feel like she's like the expert on this. Like,
No,
she helped me get more in tune with the angel numbers. She
I
helped.
don't know anything.
No one knows anything. It's a belief. It's a consciousness.
True.
And she's very in tune with it. So the most crazy one I want to share, though, wait, if you okay, the most crazy interaction or experience with 333 that I've had, and this has been a more than one time, this has like been a occurrence that has happened more than once for me, is on my iMessage. This one was
Oh my god, no,
crazy.
that was
Listen to this. If you don't believe in angel numbers before this, you're gonna believe in it after this, trust me. So my iMessage showed I had 333 text messages, and this was after I first came across the angel number 333, and I was like, wow, this number really aligns with me. Like, I feel like I resonate with this number because I am someone who needs to surrender. And so I saw that it was 333, and I was like, that's weird. Like, that's a lot of text messages. And I go onto my iMessage, and sure enough, I only have 170 text messages. I go and click on the chat with someone, and when you exit the chat, you know how it shows how many you have that you are unread. only 172. And I'm not in any group chats. I'm very good at responding to messages typically. Like I'm not in any group chats that have sent, how many messages would that have had to be? Like 150 messages. I would not have missed that many. And that has happened for me multiple times. The 333 showing on my iMessage. That was what really solidified my belief in that, in angel numbers, because that is not even something that's not an address, that's not something that's physically permanently written anywhere. Yeah. It's just showing up, and I actually only have like 150 messages. So that's gotta be something.
No, that was definitely a sign.
Yeah.
And like it happened like
it happened like 3 or 4
and it was
times.
still 3.
Yeah, it was always 333. Whenever it happens, it's 333. Call me delusional. That's my belief system. I'm not gonna stop believing. That's all I have about angel numbers for now. Something huge about spirituality for me is your mindset. I really think it does create your reality. Obviously, not to the extent of I can think about a pizza and a pizza's gonna appear in my hands. Like, obviously, not to that extent. But I think that, and I guess it doesn't necessarily have to be spirituality, but for me, it's a part of my spirituality is any like negative situation or negative headspace you're in. You have the power to flip that into a positive situation simply by telling yourself, what is meant to be will be, what is meant to happen will happen. Everything happens for a reason. I am okay in this moment. I trust all outcomes. Simply by telling yourself these things, you are able to shift your mindset and turn this negative situation into a positive. And I think that's what's so cool about spirituality is that you can truly just be so at peace and so you can just be so detached from all your external surroundings and circumstances, not in a way where you're closed off from your relationships and things, but more in so a way where you just have this like inner sense of peace and security within yourself. So much to the point where your energy is like something that you want to protect.
Alright, hopefully this doesn't die on me. Okay, so lately I have been reading this book called Handbook to Higher Consciousness, and I've been telling Bella all about it because I feel like
Yes.
it's definitely like something that we both really want to learn more about.
Hmm.
And it's written by Ken Keyes Jr. So thank you to shout out to him.
Thanks, Ken.
And basically the
You got it
thanks
at a vintage
Ken.
store,
Oh
right?
yes, I got it at a vintage store. And
That's how you
well,
know.
antique store,
Yes,
yes.
antique.
Oh,
Whoops.
and I was like going in there specifically looking for something like this because I knew they would have something
Mhm.
like they have to. Um, also crazy, not to get off track, but I was looking through like they had like a stack of like random photos and like postcards and stuff.
Mhm.
And I was looking through the stack in the shop and I randomly come across, it's a postcard, but
Mhm.
on like the front of it it says like April, and then it basically like goes a little bit into it like just like about the characteristics of people born in April,
Mhm.
which I was,
Mhm.
and just like I don't know, just telling you a little bit more about like who you are as a person. And I thought that was really crazy because like literally I kept looking and I couldn't find like any other like months or like postcards that were like similar to this. Like it was literally like meant for me because
Yeah, I believe
like
it. I believe in
it was
stuff
like
like that.
April, yeah, and
Yeah,
I was like, whoa. So I kept it, and well, obviously I bought it, guys. I didn't
as
steal
you
it,
should.
but
Like, obviously, you should buy it. I didn't mean like I expected you to steal. Anyways.
but yeah, like so that was crazy. But anyways, in that same trip, I found this book, and I've been trying to read like a chapter a night because I genuinely feel like it has a lot of like words of wisdom, and I've read lines to Bella before. I'm not super far into it yet. Sorry Bella, because I know you want to borrow it after me.
No, take your time.
But so the author made, it's called Living Love, and that's like a method that he came up with, I guess.
Mhm.
And it's basically just like teaching you how to practice this like in your everyday life, and
Mhm.
it's just like all about like opening up yourself to like more opportunities, like
Mhm.
whether that's love, whether that's like just contentment with your life.
Mhm.
Um so I definitely recommend this book, and there was a line that stood out to me, but to be honest, I don't remember what
Here, I
chapter it
can.
was. So going back to the living love system, the book is basically just talking about how, just like in general, like how people are raised brings them to a point in their life where they have just addictions regarding like anything. And so a line from the book is, in the living love system, an addiction is any desire that makes you upset or unhappy if not satisfied. So that could encompass literally anything.
Mhm.
And something this book talks about is turning these addictions into preferences. So it's like learning how to reprogram your brain into just like not letting the negative emotions like fuel you in a way.
Yeah, that makes
And
sense.
I remember a line saying something like, for example, if your car tire ends up like, I don't know, popping or something.
Mhm.
Yes, it's a frustrating situation, but like don't let your negative emotions like overcome you, I guess.
Yeah.
And it's like look at it like more so from a way that's like, well, I would have preferred if my tires stayed like full and like nothing happened to
Oh,
them. Like I
yeah.
would have preferred for that to happen, but like now that this has happened, like, like there's nothing I can do, I guess. So,
Yeah.
like, you just like take it step by step.
It's just like acceptance.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I really like this book, and guys, you should definitely buy it because I think you can buy it on like Amazon or something. But
Oh.
it just like helps you like rework your brain like in the way that you think.
Yeah.
So
That's a huge part of spirituality, I feel like, it's just like, changing your thought
yeah,
processes and kind of just, like, surrendering and accepting things for how they are, like,
yeah,
in the present moment. I think that's honestly, like, a huge part of spirituality. I think a lot of people look at it like, "Oh, it's like, I don't believe in it," but it's like, it's really not a belief, it's like a practice.
mm,
That's how I see it, at least.
yeah,
Like, it's like something that everyone has the ability to practice if they want to.
yeah.
But also, I was gonna say I love how the book is like worn. Like I like how it looks used because I feel like that makes me like trust it more.
Yeah, yeah. And
Like
like it already has like
it's worn
highlights
in, it has
and like people
highlights.
highlighted
It's
like
kind
the
of cool. Like you
lines.
can see like other people have used it before you.
Yeah,
They
and
left their
like
mark on it.
see like what part stood out to them the
Yeah.
most compared to like you.
Yeah.
And also this, it says, "Sherry, be happy, follow your
Oh,
dreams.
we'll meet
We'll meet
again.
again. Love, Rosalie."
Oh,
So yeah, I
that's
love it because it's
beautiful.
like this book had its own life before me,
Yeah.
and it's like literally like kind of falling apart or beginning
Yeah.
to, but like it just goes to show like how much love that it's had.
Yeah. So I went on a trip to Toronto in Canada. It was a rainy trip. It was raining on and off. My mom and sister and I were walking, and we come across. I was looking at the Google Maps to direct us, and I see that there's a park called Isabella Valency Crawford Park, and I was like, "Oh my gosh, like Isabella Park, like I have to go." And it was like on our route, like perfectly, so we didn't have to go out of our way or anything. It was a park, quote unquote. It was literally like one sidewalk and you walk through it with some trees. My mom and sister ended up waiting because there were different pathways, so they didn't come with me. But I walk through this park, and when I get to the end of the walkway, there's some chairs, some seating, and I find this book and it's sitting upright. Nurit can see this, you guys can, but it's sitting upright and it's just sitting there like fresh and clean. Given it was a rainy day, so you would expect this book to be like damaged from the rain, but it was almost as if someone had like just set it down. And it's called Healing. I can't pronounce the author's name. But I just thought it was crazy because the park was Isabella Park, and then I walk through it and I find this book. And it says, the first page says, "I hope you're kinder to yourself today." And that's something that really resonates with me. Like, I just need to have more compassion for myself. But I'm hoping that this book ends up in an antique store one day too. I think that would be really cool.
You should put it in one of those like the things that like you leave a book and someone takes a book or something.
Oh,
That would
yeah.
be good
That's
after
a
you're
good
done with
idea.
it.
Yeah, when I finish it, I definitely
Yeah.
will.
But I'm kind of curious. I kind of want to read it after you.
You
We should do
should.
a book
Yeah,
swap.
we can swap them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's
They
pretty
wrote, "I'll
cute.
share some of the tools that helped me, and most importantly, I'll share the voice in my head. It's the voice that I heard the most. In my case, it was the harshest, meanest, and most unforgiving voice. In those 5 months, I understood that it's also the only voice I can change." So it
Damn.
just really shows you are responsible for the way you speak to yourself, you're responsible for the power you give to the voices from other people towards you, because really the only thing you can change and control is your own yourself and your internal voice.
Yeah.
And so I thought that was pretty cool. But
Huh. That is really
yeah,
cool. Wait, so do you ever buy like stones?
I bought my first stone like last semester. Actually, Carla's one of our other roommates, went to this, what would you say the vibe of that art gecko is? It's
I don't know. They just have a bunch of
we
shit
went
in
to like
there.
a boho
Yeah.
vibes bohemian store. um and we were looking at rings, and I saw this really cool one that had a stone that stood out to me. I think it's called bright druce.
Hmm.
It's like this pink stone, and I was like, this is just a cool stone, like I'm gonna get this ring. And I looked it up when I got home, and it aligns with the third eye chakra.
Ah.
No. But yeah, I have that's the only stone I have is bright druce.
Yeah.
I thought that was cool that it aligned with the chakras, because I had also recently bought a chakra hanging with the different chakras
Yeah, what's the
from
third
that same
one?
store.
Do you remember?
The third chakra,
Yeah.
it's third eye. Oh, like your throat, like your neck. I forget what it's
Mm,
called
yeah.
though. But there's
Like pharynx or something? Or maybe not
no.
that.
I could go
I
check.
took
I
anatomy,
literally have it in
guys.
my room. Should we just look it up? Yeah, the next one is literally called throat chakra. I didn't think it was that literal of a name, but yeah. And then
Yeah.
it just goes down
Okay.
your body, yeah.
Yeah, because the only ones that I've gotten, and like this was like kind of long ago, because I don't know, I was like more fixated on stones when
Mhm.
I was younger, but I think I got like kind of like the basic ones like tiger's eye,
Oh, I think I've
right?
heard of that.
And just like
Yeah.
rose quartz, because I like
That's a huge one. Ooh, I
yeah.
actually have a bracelet that I got for free because I won it as a prize from like one of those
Ooh.
prize tables that they have
Yeah, yeah,
on our campus. I have a rose quartz one from that.
yeah.
But yeah.
Because I think, well, isn't rose quartz like that one's like supposed to be about like love and stuff?
Yeah,
Okay.
I'm gonna cut this
Yeah, no. But yeah, rose quartz is like focused on general love, and then tiger's eye. I think I got that because it was like just like confidence,
hmm
related and stuff. And I mean, I never did anything with them. Like I know people like actually like use them while they're like meditating or like doing some sort of
Oh,
practices.
yeah.
I never did any of that stuff. I kind of just like had them to
Yeah.
have them, but like I don't know if they ever actually like I guess influenced me in any way,
hmm
or but I like to believe that they do have like some
Yeah.
sort of like higher power to them,
Yeah.
and I don't know. I guess yeah, I need to do more research about that kind of stuff, but I'm just like more focused on like the manifestation aspect of just like spirituality, and like
Yeah.
definitely, like I made like a vision board
hmm
recently, and like that's like just seeing everything on display and just like imagining what your life would be like is definitely very powerful.
Yeah. If
Yeah.
you want to borrow my book, The Secret again.
Oh yeah, wait,
That's
the
a great
Spanish one,
book.
right?
Yeah, I also have it in English now. But that one's great because it's basically talking about imagining that you already have everything that you desire, living
Yeah.
as if you already have those
Yeah,
things
exactly.
in your life. And then you will naturally just attract those things because you're not living in a mindset of scarcity. You're not living in a state of scarcity. You're living in a state of abundance
Mm.
and like believing like that you're fulfilled already, even though you don't have like your dream house or whatever, like, but you're living as if you are having that, you have that feeling that you would get from having your dream house. It's like creating the feeling that you are seeking from the external thing within yourself, which I think is really cool
Yeah,
because
that is really cool.
yeah. So that's a good book also if you're listening to this and interested in some books about spirituality, The Secret is a really good one too. Um
And also that way that you were talking about, like just like living like you already have, or like you're in abundance, like that's the
mhm.
way that like you're supposed to manifest, because like
Yeah.
you're well, like I guess if you like you write it out, like you're
Mhm.
supposed to write it in a way like you already have
Yeah.
it. So
Yeah.
it's yeah, there's definitely something with like that form of
Yeah.
just like I guess manifesting.
Yeah, I think so too. Yeah, I actually have 10,000 people listening to this podcast right now. Living as
Yes.
I'm so lucky you're all here.
I was about to be like, wait, really?
No, living as if I already have it.
Yeah.
But there's something else I wanted to add. Oh, I think I'm going back to what you were saying about the stones.
Hmm.
I think like a lot of like the symbols and like the angel numbers, like everything that goes into spirituality, like this is obviously my just like my opinion on it,
Hmm.
but like whether it's like the chakras or the stones or the angel numbers, whatever it is, they all come down to like a feeling of peace and like a feeling of like whatever it is, like the positive feeling that we're craving.
Yeah.
It all comes down to like that's what we're seeking from those things. And so I think what like the stones are and the angel numbers and everything that comes with spirituality, I think it's just giving like it's something, it's making the feeling that you're craving, like it turns the feeling you're craving into something physical that you can see and touch.
Hmm.
So then it helps you like embody that feeling, even though it's like something that you can just embody with simply like your brain. But like having something external to be like, this is giving me confidence, or this is whatever giving me whatever it's giving me, like having
Hmm.
something external to like see it, it's like mirroring that to yourself. Did that make any sense? Or
Um.
was that confusing, to be honest? Did that not make sense?
No, no, no. I think it made sense. I never took my nap earlier, so I'm kind of
Oh,
like, I'm low battery right
that's so
now.
fair.
But no, I think you definitely.
I think what I was trying to say is you don't need to have the stones or whatever like external, like you don't, in my belief is you don't need to have any of
Yeah.
those things because you can create those all from within, but it's nice to have those things to like remind you
Yeah.
of that energy.
Yeah.
I think that's kind of how I see it, is it's like a reminder. It's a reminder of confident energy, or it's a reminder of loving energy to have those stones, or to have, or to see the angel number. It's a reminder to surrender and trust all outcomes. It's just a positive reminder,
Yeah.
essentially.
Yeah.
So that's
Well,
kind of how I look at it. But
well said, Bella.
thank you. All right, so we are going to finish this episode by leaving you guys with a quote.
Okay. So I focus on, okay, this is not the quote, but a little preface. I focus on
Yeah.
love like way too much, and I found this quote to be, I don't know, like I sent Bella like a voice recording of like me saying it when I
Mm-hmm.
first read it, because I feel like it's so true. But basically it says, as we grow into higher consciousness, we discover that it is more important to be the right person than to find the right person.
So true.
And it's like, I mean, it seems like an obvious thing, you know, but I
Mm-hmm.
feel like we forget that.
I think we do too.
Like, I don't know. And like we just focus like way too much on like just finding, or at least I do. I feel like
No,
just
I
like
definitely have done. I'm guilty of that as well.
like, finding, like I'm like scared of not like finding like a good relationship,
Right.
but I feel like with that, like I just disregard like myself way too much. So I
Mm-hmm.
feel like this quote is definitely like just a good reminder
For sure.
to obviously like primarily like focus on yourself and like
Yeah.
focus on bettering yourself in like every aspect. And
Yeah.
yeah.
That's how you create the best relationships.
Exactly.
Yeah. I like that. So I'm going to share this word that I don't know if I'm going to pronounce it correctly, but it's from my healing book. And the word is ho'oponopono. And it's a Hawaiian word, and it's essentially a practice of forgiveness, and the translation for it is cause things to move back into balance. So I think just looking at life and looking at all your experiences as it's always gonna everything will align eventually, everything will come into balance. The guy who wrote this book, they were actually his journal entries, and he was just talking about how he has these negative voices in his head, and to every time that he would catch these voices kind of taking over, and he would just start repeating this practice, this word, to get things to go back into balance and give himself that compassion, that forgiveness. So I thought that was cool. But yeah,
Yay!
Well, thank you so much for coming on my podcast
Of
with me.
course. Thank you for
It was
having
so
me.
fun. This was a fun
Yes.
conversation.
And I hope you guys enjoyed me here too. And
Yes.
if you
If not,
didn't, don't tell
don't
me.
listen to my podcast ever
Yeah, frick you.
again. Well, I hope you enjoyed. I hope you got something out of this episode. And I will see you guys for you'll hear me in the next episode.
And if you wanna see me again, leave a like.
Leave a like and a
Imagine
comment.
there's like no likes.
All
Okay,
right.
bye.
Bye. Thanks for listening. Mwah.